a dramatic...
Action News, Delaware Valley's leading news program, with Cecily Tynan, Phil Andrews, and Rob Jennings.
Sunday night, friends of a Catholic school rally to keep its doors open, and a little girl pleads for help finding her mother's killer. But the big story in Action News tonight is a soggy, muddy mess. Pennsylvania's cleaning up from the worst flooding in 2 decades. Everyone's back home in Upper Bucks County tonight, but most people are finding several feet of water in their basements. Crews worked all day to pump out cellars, and they're still not finished. Many roads are washed out and remain closed tonight because of mud and ice. Residents say it's been a long time since the Delaware raged the way it did last night.
The river was actually pulsing. So you would see the water come up a bit and then recede and come up a little bit higher. And it just kept doing that. The ice kept coming up bit by bit. It was just creeping along.
The water even knocked out power and flooded gas lines. Some heating oil also contaminated the river. Cleanup crews got to it before any major damage was done. The New Jersey side of the river also took a pounding this weekend. David Murphy has that angle tonight.
It took hours to clean up at some riverside spots in Lambertville, New Jersey today.
This is the highest the river's been in 20-some years. And the biggest problem is the mud now.
The water line was about up to here.
But for some, the worries involved water. Bonnie Berkmeyer's basement was flooded to within a foot or so of the first floor. She had no idea whether her heater would even restart. And what's more...
No, I don't have insurance. So, I don't know what's going to happen right now.
From Chopper 6 this morning, it was obvious that water had visited many riverside homes, like this one on an island 20 yards off the bank. From the ground, the difficulty of going home here was obvious. A footbridge leading to the house was washed out. The Chopper 6 view of the Lambertville Inn was also waterlogged. But here, too, the water level seemed to stay pretty much below everything but the basement level. And the main problem here right now is a major cleanup job involving mud. Slowly, normal life returned here today. The bridge from Lambertville to New Hope, which was closed this morning while engineers checked for damage from high water and ice overnight, was reopened around lunchtime, first to foot traffic, then to cars, meaning the area's important tourist trade could get around more easily. And local residents like Matthew Oro's emerged to survey scenes like the mud-filled parking lot outside the Lambertville Station restaurant.
Quite a disaster, that's all I gotta say. The station's gonna have a problem cleaning up all this mud.
But with much less property damage overall than some predicted, thanks to lower than expected floodwaters, Matthew was free to consider more pleasant thoughts, like maybe earning a few extra bucks, helping to clean up all that mud. In Lambertville, New Jersey, David Murphy, Channel 6 Action News.
Perhaps the hardest hit area in Pennsylvania is Harrisburg, and you can see for yourself how the ice-swollen Susquehanna River showed no mercy on the state capital. It washed away the Walnut Street Bridge, a major pedestrian link to downtown Harrisburg, and the raging river swallowed up many homes and businesses that line the shore.
Actually, I was planning on selling my house, so I don't know what I'll do. But, you know, that's one of the risks you put up with. It's a great place to live.
The Susquehanna is receding tonight, although it'll be over flood level for at least another day. All state offices in Harrisburg will be closed tomorrow, and the legislature has canceled all its sessions for the coming week. Governor Ridge and his family are among those sleeping elsewhere because of the flooding. Water surrounded the governor's mansion last night, and they're still not through cleaning up. Damage caused by floodwaters from the Allegheny to the Delaware is sure to be in the millions. President Clinton signed a disaster declaration at noon today. But Ridge isn't happy because it covers only 6 of 58 counties that need help.
So if you had problems with snow, you don't count. If you have problems with floods, you only count in 6 of the 57 counties. So I think Mr. Witt and the administration and I and others still have a lot of work to do together.
Ridge talked to the president tonight and says Mr. Clinton agreed to look into providing more aid. James Witt heads up the Federal Emergency Management Agency. He will be in the state tomorrow to survey flooded areas and to meet with the governor. Meanwhile, Washington has freed up $1 million to help clean up and repair state highways and bridges. One area that will be getting help for sure is Williamsport in northeast Pennsylvania. The Susquehanna swelled over its banks early yesterday, and as you can see, it had its way with anything in its way. Federal emergency inspectors are expected here tomorrow to start assessing the damage. It could be weeks or even months, though, before they have a final price tag on the flood of '96. Even in Washington, D.C., they're feeling the effects of this quick thaw. The Potomac spilled over its banks today, flooding roads in and around the nation's capital. Look at that. In Georgetown, businesses placed sandbags around their doors to keep the water out. The flooding even brought an unusual sight of nature to the city. A resident spotted this herd of deer swimming in the Potomac River. They eventually made it to shore and headed for higher and drier ground. Back